Okay, weighted averages. Now, you may have had a class in the past that has done this for you. Each test is worth a certain percent. Each homework's worth a certain percent of the class. So we're going to talk about how we can find weighted averages. So in biology, weights are assigned to required activities as follows. A project is 25%, each exam is 15%, and the final exam is 30%. Each activity is graded on a 100-point scale. Gary earned 75 points on the project, 85 points on exam 1, 95 points on exam 2, 90 points on exam 3, and 88 on the final exam. Compute his overall weighted average in the biology class. All right, so to get his weighted average, okay, there's not really a symbol for it, just weighted average, and we're going to start. So he earned a 75 on the project. Well, that 75 is worth 25% of his grade, so we're going to do 75 times 25% as a decimal, so 0.25, plus, and then he made an 85 on the first exam, which is worth 15% of his grade. So I'm going to take 85 times 0.15, plus, and then a 95 on exam 2, again, times 0.15, because the second exam is 15%, plus, and then a 90 on exam 3, so 0.15 is 15%, plus, and then an 88 on the final, and the final exam is worth 30%, so I'm going to multiply by 0.3 or 0.30. Okay. Now on a weighted average, we also divide all of that by the weights. So we have a 25%, 0.25, plus we have 0.15, plus 0.15, plus 0.15 for the 3 exams, plus 0.30. Now in this case, the bottom's going to add up to 1, which it should, because we should have 100% of the grades. Now let's say we hadn't got to the final exam yet, you wouldn't have these last two parts. You would just take up to the 90 times 0.15, and then the denominator, what you're going to divide it by, would be, what, 0.70. So a little different, but it's going to add up to 1 simply because we have all of the grades. So let's work out that numerator. We have 75 times 0.25 plus 85 times 0.15 plus 95 times 0.15 plus 90 times 0.15 plus 88 times 0.30. So we get 85.65, and of course on the bottom is just 1. So it looks like Gary has made an 85.65% in the class. Okay? So you just do each score times its weight. Score times its weight. Score times its weight. On the top and on the bottom, all of the weights that you use. Okay? Great. Another type of weighted average is when we have grouped data. Okay? Lifestyle's Weight Loss Clinic gave the following information about the distribution of its clients. Estimate the weighted average of the weight of a client. Now the problem here is 11% are from 130 to 149. Our problem is we don't know the exact weights. Okay? So the best thing that we're going to be able to do is to use midpoints. Okay? So the first thing we have to do, since these are grouped data, is we have to find the midpoint. So I'm going to take 130 plus 149 and divide that by 2, which gives me 139.5. Okay. So this is going to be more of an estimate. Okay, we're going to assume 11% have the weight 139.5. Okay, now from 150 up to 169, so 150 plus 169, divide that by 2, and I get 159.5 as the midpoint. Okay. 170 to 189, that midpoint is 179.5. And from 190 to 209, it's going to be 199.5. So this is what we're going to do. Now, this is going to be our score, and this is going to be our weight. So to get the weighted average, I'm going to take 139.5 times the 11%, so 0.11. plus, and then the midpoint for the second group, 159.5 times, and then 0.48 for the 48%, plus 179.5 times 0.32, plus, and then 199.5 times 0.07. And again, we have to divide this by the, the weights or the percents. So you have to think about it as the percents in this case. 0.11 plus 0.48 plus 0.32 plus 0.07. All right, so let's work this out. 139.5 times 0.11 plus 159.5 times 0.48 plus 179.5 times 0.32 plus 199.5 times 0.07. And we get 163.31 over, and then we have to add the decimals, 0.11 plus 0.48 plus 0.32 plus 0.07 is 0.98. So apparently we have 2% that way somewhere outside of the ranges they're using. And we're going to divide this out. 163.31 divided by 0.98. And we get 166.642. So 166.64. And we're talking about pounds. Okay, does that look kind of like a middle? Looks pretty good. Okay. All right, let me know if you have any questions.